right, everybody, welcome to a mentor session with Todd Ferguson. We've got 5 questions we're going to answer here with Accelerator's organization and hopefully use our experience to give some insight and to help people think just a little bit with these questions. And so a little bit about me. I live in Southern Missouri, own a couple different companies. We're in the e-commerce space, so Amazon, Walmart, and then we also own a third-party logistics warehouse, so warehousing and logistics for other people. And then we are in commercial real estate and also in getting into residential real estate. So we're going to use all that experience plus just what we've learned inside of AO to hopefully help answer some of these questions and bring some clarity to you guys. So as always, if you guys get in there or get the answers to the questions and you need more clarification, you need to talk about it more, feel free to send me a DM, a direct message through Facebook, and we can chat that way. So the first question comes from Jamie. Jamie says, this is a broad question. I would love your advice as an experienced business person. I'm new to AO. What are the top things I can do to get a jump start on getting my businesses and overall life better? Business description says I'm a baker, licensed massage therapist, so I love both and want to build them. I'm currently pregnant and due in May. So I'm feeling kind of in limbo right now, but I'm ready to change my life and my future to what I want it to be. So great question. I don't know where you are in your stages of your business. So you might be in the beginning stages. I don't know how seasoned you are or how far along you are with being a massage therapist with the baking, but it is really difficult, I have found, when you're starting out, to run 2 different businesses or to have 2 different things that are pulling you in different directions. And so I would really encourage you to find out, you might love them both, but which one has the most potential to make you the most money? Which one has the most potential to help you grow and get to where you want to? I would choose that one and really start to learn everything I could about that business. So I'm just taking it from the standpoint that you're newer in business, because that's what you're talking about. And also, if you are pregnant, you're going to have a child, how does that affect these 2 businesses? So which one can you operate that way? Which one has the most upside or the most potential and can make you the most money if you love them both? But what I would really do is learn as much as you possibly can about that business, and then about what they call your avatar is. And I think I talk about this often, but what is your ideal customer? What does that customer look like? How much do they spend? Where do they spend their money? What is their income? How often do they visit you? 2 different things if you're a baker and a massage therapist. So really learn as much as you can about that specific business. There's a ton of great business books that you can read, whether it's mindset, whether it's entrepreneurship, business specifics on how to operate certain businesses, how to take the profit first, to think about that. There's businesses about finances that you can use and take and start implementing some of that, so that way when you are ready to really ramp up your businesses, you're already a step ahead. AO is a great resource. You said that you're new inside of AO. Ask as many questions as you can in the portal. So as you start to learn and you start to have questions, make sure you throw those in there. Attend the Zooms that Sean does on Sunday mornings. Live events. He does great live events. We've learned a ton for the businesses that I have on how to implement those things, whether it's sales or leadership. And so really it's just have that mindset of learning and being a sponge and try to get as much information as you can. So that way when you're ready to actually implement some of the stuff, you can hit the ground running and you're not behind. So hopefully that helps. Second question comes from Kim. Says, how much time should I spend training my new personal assistant? So the business description says, I hired her a week ago. I'm excited to get back to work to cover her salary comfortably, but she's struggling with some tasks like filling out contracts properly. I've spent the past week going over everything with her, but I want to know how to make it easier for her to understand. It seems simple to me, but I want to avoid spending too much time training her if I can't focus on making money. Any advice on how to help her learn faster? All right, so a really good question again on this one, Kim. Helping somebody learn faster is more figuring out how they learn. Some people learn through written words. Some people learn through listening. Some people learn through watching a video. And so that would be one thing I would check with her is what is her preferred method of learning? Does she want to read something on a computer screen? Does she want to listen to it? Does she want to watch you do that task on video? But the thing is it's super important to train people the best that you possibly can from day one. Otherwise, we are setting them up for failure as a leader and as an owner. If we are not giving them what they need and we don't want to spend time training them, then that means we didn't take the time before that to get everything in order. And so this is a learning experience for you. So, I mean, congratulations on hiring somebody. That's one thing that people have a problem with, is hiring and giving up that control. So you've already done that, but now you've got to learn how to train them. And so the things that I'm thinking about are SOP, standing operating procedures, the way you do things. Telling somebody how to do something versus having a standard operating procedure that they can follow are two different things. And so we have just spent in the business, the prep center, my management team has spent the last quarter really hammering out SOPs. For the past 90 days, we have gotten to almost 85% of all of our standard operating procedures done. So it's not going to be easy and it's not quick, but really giving them your new hire. So whether it's an admin assistant, whether it's a roofer, whether it's somebody that's going to power wash, it doesn't matter what it is. They need to know what the standards are for your business. And so if they're having problems filling out contracts, there's a simple tool called Loom, Loom, that we use. And so you can record anything on your computer. And so if it's filling out a contract on the computer, you can do that. You can talk through it. It captures your voice, it captures the video, and then that is what we call it SOP, a standard operating procedure. This is how we fill out a contract line by line. This is how we do it. Once we fill out the contract, this is where it goes. This is what you do. This is when you follow up. These are the other things that you need. So you make little bitty short videos, try to keep them to 5 minutes or longer is what we found, but really make short, concise videos on stuff like that. Or, if you're doing written word, try to keep it for less than a page. But I would really encourage you to do that. One thing you can do now that you recognize this, hopefully, is you can actually have her start creating SOPs for you. So once you show her what to do, you talk her through that, you give her instructions, she can create the SOPs for you. So if she's just doing something on the computer, she can record it for you, tell you how she's doing it. That gives you clarity. You can check up with her and make sure that it's done right. And then it also creates an SOP for the next person. So if she quits, she gets promoted, she gets fired, whatever it is, you have those already. So you're teaching somebody else to do that for you, and that really helps. So Kim, you know how to get a hold of me. If you need more clarity on this, just reach out. Next question comes from Kim as well. It says, how do I handle a team member not following processes I create for them? So the description is, I recently just hired my first assistant and observed that she's most productive when I'm present. However, when I'm not around, she doesn't follow simple instructions like texting me upon completing tasks from the to-do list. To be a good boss, but I also want things done the way I want them. What do I do if she won't follow processes? Goes to the first question that you asked, and the answer that, or the experience, I guess, that I have with that is, it's very challenging, in my opinion, and from what I've experienced, to hold somebody accountable to a process if we as in business owners, CEOs, leaders, whatever you want to call us, haven't laid that out and don't have a system for them to follow. It would be, Sean even talks about this, and I'm going to talk about it in the first minute. The common sense is not common. It's just not. And so to tell somebody how to do something and then expect them to kind of read in between the lines or to figure things out in between, the way they do it, the way you do it, the way I do it could be 3 different ways. And so when you give them a standard operating procedure and it's laid out, then for me, that's when we can go back and say, okay, walk me through this. Like, you were supposed to complete the contract. This wasn't done this way. Here's the operating procedure. We did this during your training. You said that it was clear. I asked for clarity. I asked if you had any questions. You said no. You have done this before without any problems. Now we're having an issue. Walk me through, why we're having an issue. And maybe it's training, maybe it's whatever it is. But really on this, a great book that I read, and I'm going to read it again this year, and this will be the 3rd time. It's called Extreme Ownership, and it's by Jocko Willink. And so it talks about whenever there's a breakdown, usually in our business, or if there's a challenge, or whether it's a customer or whatever it is, if we really look at things, more often than not, it's our problem, it's our issue, and it relates back to us. And so the root cause is us. So whether, one thing that I'm working on is communicating with my team better. I'm not always a great communicator. I think things, but I don't always communicate that. And so if we look at it, it usually starts with us. So ask yourself, how did you train her? Did you set very clear expectations? And then you can follow up with that. I would also encourage you to, if you're having somebody text you every time something's done, it's probably not a good use of your time or their time. There's a ton of different programs that you can use, whether it's Monday.com, we use Slack. There's all types of stuff that people can use to let you know that stuff's done so they're not interrupting you. Because remember, there's only so much mental bandwidth that we have as owners or just as people in general. And so if we are in the middle of a task or trying to complete something or in this deep session to where we're really trying to figure things out and somebody texts us and we look at our phone, then that breaks that concentration and it breaks that mental time and it takes us longer to get back on track. There's a reason why icons on phones are red. There's tons of study. It makes you want to need that. And so anytime that you can almost automate that or just have to where at the end of the day you can check all that in a quick glance, and that's what I would do. So Kim, hopefully that helps on that as well. But really set clear expectations, give her some SOPs, check for clarity, and then follow up that way. All right, next question comes from Jeff. Jeff says, how do I balance lowering my personal income when hiring my first team member? So business description says, it's definitely a mindset change for me. I have concerns about changing my personal pay. Right now, all the money made is mine. I really don't separate it. I've always been used to a high income. Last year, was my largest year with a gross of $220,000 with a net around $180K. I love the life I provide for my family, but I'm losing more and more hours at home. What is the best way to prepare for that change? My business is a home inspection company. I'm a solopreneur right now, preparing for my first hire this year. So what I would tell you is, based on this, is you don't own a business, you own a job. So you are essentially trading your time for money, which is fine. Most of us have started there. Most of us have been there. And so congratulations on wanting to hire your first team member. It is challenging when you are used to a certain level of income or a lifestyle to figure out how to navigate that, especially, if you are looking to bring somebody on. Yes, that's going to come from your income more than likely because you own a job, you don't own a business. And as you start to hire people, then yes, you own a business and you start to implement things like the SOPs that we just talked about. One thing I've always tried to do is to live below my means always. And so the less money, and this is just what I found, the less money I need to take out of my business, the faster I can grow, the more it allows me to buy equipment, to hire people, to bring things on. And so for the first, 8 years, I really didn't take a lot of money out. None. Very minimal, what I needed to live to get by. And so then I was able to grow and hire people and start getting multiple streams of income. And now I can pretty much do what I want. Not to Sean's level yet, but getting there. And so it's just a mental thing. And you talked about that. And so a book I would encourage you to read is called Mindset by Carol Dweck. And it talks about a fixed versus a growth mindset. And so a fixed mindset would be, I'm going to have to give up money. I'm going to have to lessen my lifestyle so I can bring somebody on. A growth mindset is no, I have the opportunity. I'm making such good income that I can start bringing somebody on and I can quit trading my time for money. And so for me personally, I have always been of the belief that I will take less money in a trade-off for time freedom. So I want time freedom. That is my ultimate goal, is to have the freedom to do what I want when I want, not have to clock in, not have to do any of that. And so when you start to think that way, you just got to figure out what your goals are. And so if you want to own a job and make great money, you're clearly doing that. But if you want to grow a business and start to have some time freedom, then you've got to start thinking different. And you even said that it's a mindset. But I would just really figure out what these additional hires are going to do for you, for your business. And if you talk about how you're losing more and more hours at home, that's not going to change. And the more money you want to make, the more time you're going to have to spend away. And so really just honing in on what is important for you and knowing what that individual or individuals will bring as far as freedom for you. All right, last question comes from Kelly. Kelly says, What is the process of acquiring a business partner, and when is the time right to bring in a business partner? So the business description says Kelco Constructions is a licensed general engineering company in Northern California. We have certifications that put us at the top of the list for some government and state projects. We became licensed and certified in 2022. Take care of excavation, pipeline, demolition. Lately, he's been wondering what he needs to do in order to attract an interested business partner or partners, and what the process is like. All I know is that he needs to be 51% of the owner to be able to keep certain certifications. So, business partners can be amazing, and they can be super challenging. And I have a business partner in 3 or 4 of my businesses. One of them I own myself. One of them, they're minority owners. They own 20%, and the other couple were 50-50 partners. And so you're going to ask 20 different people and get 20 different answers on this. And I believe that the right partner is great. The wrong partner can be detrimental to your business. And so I've had to learn how to navigate that. I did not get advice before acquiring a business partner. I'm not saying it was a bad decision, but there are certain things that you need to make sure. And so the first one that we did not do, my business partner and I, was really lay out specifics, like very clear and concise roles. This is who's in charge of what. This is who makes this decision. Now, when he's 20% owner, I have pretty much full say. I mean, I respect his opinion. The 50-50 stuff is different. We each own 50. Nobody can really overrule. It needs to be, it's a partnership. And you know, a book for you to consider reading would be Traction. And it's by Gino Wickman, and it talks about the entrepreneur operating system. And there's something called a visionary, and there's something called an integrator. And so really figuring out who is what. And so I am the visionary in those businesses. I can see things. I'm the dreamer. I'm the guy that says, what if we did this? Whereas Trevor, my business partner, is more of the integrator or the implementer, if you want to call it, is a person that I can hand those ideas to and say, get this done. The challenge is when you start giving up percentages of your business, especially when you rely on that income, it becomes difficult. And so you have to realize that. And so if you have the goals of growing big, a multi-million dollar business, just realize you are giving up some of that equity for a partner. And I don't know why you need a partner. I don't know what your thoughts are on the reason that you feel like you need a partner, whether they're going to bring money or expertise or whatever. But really, it's identifying what you need, what you want, and maybe that's not a business partner. Maybe that's an investor. Maybe that's a high-level manager, like a general manager. Maybe that's an advisor. Maybe that's a outsourced CFO. There are many other things besides just a business partner that can benefit your business. And yeah, it's going to cost you money, and maybe the business partner doesn't take a salary, but it does cost you equity. And so there's a ton of conversation to be had around this. And Kelly, if you want to give me a shout, I know Sean's great with this as well. Dan, Joel, everybody is going to have different opinions. And I think it's just figuring out, and experiences, but figuring out which one resonates with you the most. I would try to give as much advice as you can. And I know that's why you asked the question, but really figure out what you need, why you think you need that, and let somebody poke holes in that. Let somebody ask you the hard questions. Let somebody help you figure out if it really is a good idea. People that have been in businesses, that have business partners, or that declined a business partner, and to see kind of the trajectory and where they are now, and if they would do it again. For me, it's been good. It's been challenging. There are times that I think I can do this myself, but then as I grow and as my businesses grow and I get into different things, sometimes a partnership works. So hopefully that helps. Guys, thanks for tuning in, and keep asking your questions inside the portal. Again, there's a weekly Zoom at 8 o'clock Central Time on Sundays that Sean does. I'm on there sometimes, and sometimes he has other people too. And that's just a time to kind of spitball and get live Q&A and problem solve. So everybody, thanks. Have a great afternoon, and we'll talk to you guys soon.